I'm going to request us to introduce ourselves, who we are, what we do, how are we related to Dr. Juko, one by one, starting from you, sir.
Very glad and grateful to have all of you here today. My name is Juko Simon Thomas. I'm a student at MUBS, second year, and I'm also a farmer as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's okay if you want to clap. It's very allowed. You can clap for our panelist. Juko, Simon Thomas.
Juko Simon Thomas.
Did you say you're a farmer?
Yes, I'm a farmer.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's have the other gentleman introduce himself.
Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very delighted to be here today. Thank you for coming. My name is Magembe Dennis Ruben Juko. I work at Garden Courts Hotel in Masaka as a finance person. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Simon. I hear, Simon? Dennis. I hear it's a Juko. Today is a Juko affair. Isn't that interesting? So we have Juko Dennis, we have Juko Simon, and they are here to talk about the book and about our beloved Dr. Juko. Yes, please, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Tebandeke. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Chemistry, Makerere University. I'm a young brother to Dr. Juko, and I had the opportunity to read the advanced copy of this book, and I wrote the foreword to this book. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There is something that I've picked. Dr. Juko is a doctor. And then I'm hearing Dr. Tebandeke, doctor. Does doctor run through the family? Maybe that will be a little later. So, dear lady, tell us your name and what you do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nambeja Ruth Lydia. I am a lawyer, and I work with UAP Old Mucho. I am a daughter to Dr. Juko Fulgencio, and I am happy to be here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lydia, for that nice introduction. Yes, please.
Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Helen Kasuja. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of CD, and honored to have you around.
Thank you so much, Helen. Today, I am hosting very important persons. If you're not a Juko, you are a CD. And so, I'm delighted I'm the only who is not, any, but by osmosis, I'm becoming either Juko or a CD. And I'm so delighted to be part of this conversation. Now, I would like to start with the young brother. When growing up, there are many things which happen. You, as a young brother, what do you have to tell us about Dr. Juko? What do we need to know about him? And how was it like, growing up with Dr. Juko, such an influential human being that we are seeing that he's become? And yeah, tell us about his childhood, how it was at home. And then I understand he's a veterinary doctor who has turned into a community developer. How are those related? I mean, just tell us something. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I have a lot to say, but I know in the interest of time, I'm trying to keep it a bit short. I've spent a lot of time under the mentorship of Dr. Juko. Our dad passed away when I was in senior 2, and I stayed with Dr. Juko, and I've had the opportunity to observe him work, because in senior 2, at least you are able to observe and then see how people work. As a family person, I found him to be very committed to his family. He's loving, he's encouraging, he's a very good disciplinarian. He can instill good discipline and good manners in his children. And what I like most about him as a family person, or even in other fields of mentoring, he practices what he preaches. When he tells you, have self-discipline, come back home in time, have family values, These are things that you see him practice. When talk things of hard work, these are things that he's doing on a daily. That even if he's not using words, if you are keen enough, you can easily pick from what he's doing. He chose the course of veterinary medicine, and I can tell you that he practiced for some time. And when he was staying at home, he could go to the field. He could come back and tell us stories about how he has operated on a dog, how he has operated on a cow, and the relationship he has with his farmers. And you could see the commitment that he has for the people. And for him to transition from veterinary medicine into the field of community development, I think for him it was very easy to do because he had the people at heart. And he could go to work with different communities. So basically when it came into CD, I think it was very easy for him to do the transition. Thanks.
So basically what you're telling me is you are not surprised because the field visits actually, made his transition very easy, right?
Yes, because you see someone who is for the people, you will hear the kind of stories that he'll tell. I visited this community, I was going to maybe look at this cow, and then I found a neighbor who had a goat which had this problem, and then I worked with the neighbor, and then I had a chat with them and advised them about feeds, and advised them where they can go and buy feeds. So you see someone who has a heart for the population, who has a heart for the community. So for him transitioning into CD, I've also had an opportunity to work with the CD on different occasions, but you still see where he came from and where he is. He still has that heart, that fire burning, that he keeps on pushing forward for the development of CD and for the development of communities.
What I'm hearing many words. I'm hearing passion, I'm hearing fire, I'm hearing, the love for what you do. So those are some of the things that I'm hearing about Dr. Juko. Thank you so much, Dr. Tebandeke. Maybe next time you'll tell us about your chemistry. We would love to know about molecules and all those things, but maybe another time. I would like to move to the children, starting with the lady. Ladies first, right? From the book, I read something where it said that doctor is so balanced between work and family, and he has just alluded to that. Then he also says that he's a loving person. What is your experience with dad? How would you describe dad? And then how would you relate that to this book that we are so excited to have today?
Okay. So, my experience growing up has been very good. At home, we have never lacked in as far as the father figure is concerned. Whereas he is very busy and very devoted to his community development activities, he's very, very balanced in a way that we have not missed him, and we have felt his presence every step of the way. We have felt him instill those values every step of the way.
Is this when we clap our hands, honestly? For a dad who is very busy, and we're hearing this from the daughter, I mean, this is very, very amazing. Please go on.
Yes, so the values that he has instilled in us are very many, and that's because he has been in position to balance his work and his family. So you will find that the household at home is a God-fearing one, is a very disciplined one, and it's a very loving one. There's love in the house because there is love with the father, there's love between the father and the mother, and so we have grown up in love. And really, I would like to just commend Dr. Juko for being the ultimate father figure and for putting all this wisdom in a book that the rest of the world can read and learn from.
Fantastic. Dr. Juko, we really, I don't see him. I hope he's hearing all these nice things. It's important that when we say them, he actually hears them, because they mean a lot. When your children stand up and say the ultimate father that we have in a home. And I'm really, being a family person as well, I feel so excited when I hear the loving environment between mommy and daddy at home. You know, that's something that every family really desires to have. Thank you so much, Lydia. Let me turn this side. Turning to Simon.
Yes.
You know, you've talked about being a farmer, and maybe I'll start there. Speaking from Father Chibi's sermon, he says we should either read or emulate. Can I assume that you have been emulating Daddy, you know, with the veterinary background, or what are those things that you're picking from Daddy, and how is that? What should I expect from the book regarding what you're emulating from Daddy?
Thank you very much for this honor to speak. First of all, what I learned from him is the hard work. Generally, you won't learn from someone by telling you do this, do that. No. You learn by observing. So I watched him, wakes up very early in the morning. I iron his clothes, he goes to work every day. So he used to do that every day of his life, and I was like, what does he go to do that side and comes back at night? So I also told myself, I have to get something myself that can make me sustain myself, and I also build something on myself. So him working hard also as well inspired me to start something up by myself. And he has always been able to provide to us as a family, despite the fact that he's always busy at work. He always gets time and spends it with us. That is a very, very, very big thing he has done for us as a family.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Simon. Fathers, mothers who are here, I think we have a lot to pick from the testimonies of these children. Despite the fact that doctor is very busy, he creates time for his family. I do not know how we are faring in our own families. It could be something. It could be a leaf. Somebody says if it's too good, you can carry the whole branch, or, you know, and go and implement, do likewise at home. Dennis, what do you have to tell us about Daddy and regarding this book? Is it okay when I call him Daddy, or I have to call him Dr. Juko? You know, I wouldn't want to, you know. So, Dr. Juko, what do you have to say about him regarding yourself and the book?
Yes, good afternoon again. So, Dr. Juko, from my experience, is a very balanced individual in all aspects. In terms of work, his administrative excellence, the kind of ways he treats us, loving and kind, but again tough, disciplinarian in nature, very patient, he can never keep a grudge, and all those are the different things we have tried to emulate. It's a great feat to try to emulate someone like that, because he's one of the best of us. And then what I've seen from the book is a very positive outlook when I compare what we actually sometimes go through, what he has actually gone through as an individual. You can see that at the end of the day, he still sees the light at the end of the tunnel in every situation. That's why he has been able to at least try and share his life and transcend problems, transcend challenges, and be able to put a brick on everyone else's life, especially in the community development. Even in the entrepreneurial side, the way he treats his employees, the way they work together, problem solving, all that we have tried to emulate and learn.
Wow, wow, wow. This is a lot. This is really, really amazing. I'm challenged to be a better father and a better parent. When he was speaking, I'm reminded of a story of where people were talking, they were eulogizing at some, you know, and then they were talking and talking and talking, and people are like, the children were asking, who is this you're talking about? And they said, we're talking about your father. And the children said, no, that's not our father. That has never been our father. The father was so nice out there. People are saying all the good things about him, but the children knew totally the opposite. At home, it was terrible. So when I hear all these nice things, I'm really, really challenged to step up my game and be really the father that I'm called to be, and pick a leaf from what Dr. Juko is doing. Now, I cannot rest until I hear from our Deputy Executive Director at CD. I would like to hear briefly about your story. You know, you could be so nice at home, you could be so nice in the community, but when at work, the people you interact with on a daily are having a different story. What story do you have for us about Doctor?
Dr. Juko will let people grow. I think that's his strongest point. And he always challenges people that if you come to CD knowing agriculture, you should live knowing health, knowing water, sanitation, and hygiene. So if you're a person of growth, you grow. If you're stunted, he will still challenge you to grow. So one of the biggest things about him is the ability to let people grow, and I am a living testimony of that ability to grow. I didn't join CD when I was a deputy ED, I just grew through CD. The other thing about Dr. Juko is I think one of the X factors, in my opinion, that has made him tick is the fact that he has mastered the art of self-leadership. We have so many leaders that want to lead people, but they haven't actually mastered the art of leading themselves, understanding where they come from, being intentional about where they want to go and how they want to go there. That is something that Dr. Juko has, and he challenges everyone. Like all the time you have to be on your tenterhooks, trying to innovate and think about new things. The other thing is, I cannot leave this stage without saying that thing. Don't listen to yourself. There's one thing that I have learned from him, that don't listen to yourself. If you feel you're tired and you say you're tired, like you feel tired. So you have to continue. There are times when you have to write these proposals and it's really, really nasty. It's really, really ungodly hours. And then when he shows up, when all of you want to go home, he brings new energy because he will crack a joke here and there. He cracks jokes, and sometimes you just end up, releasing the tension. So he's a very good man to work with, and if you want to really grow, you can grow under him. And the ability to know where you come from, I think, is a very big lesson for us. If you see the story of persistence, if you see the stories, there's a story in that book, the story where he had to do the surgery of a dog when they had nothing. That's Dr. Juko, pure, pragmatic, practical. When you bring solutions, he'll tell you, that's theory. I want practical things. So that is one big thing about him, ability to create practical solutions for challenges that may seem very difficult is not very common. And that is one of the biggest attributes that he has.
Wow, wow. Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead. That is really, really fantastic. I am employed somewhere, and hearing that somebody is interested in my growth, that's a very huge factor, as you call it, an X factor. I would love to be in an environment where I have the opportunity to grow, to look out for, for better opportunities, to think deeper and, better to improve whatever I'm doing. Maybe you could go ahead and tell us, could those attributes be the reasons why CD has grown by leaps and bounds by the time you celebrate 25 years, I have been seeing that pull-up banners, there is a lot that is happening. Could it be the trick behind,
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a mantra in CD, every drop counts. We can actually go for bids as low as 5,000 USD. $5,000 would be about 25 million. For an organization as big as CD, that would be, petty cash. But we go for it. He has that mantra that every drop counts. So everything matters. And there is no donor that is too small. Actually, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned to him is to manage donor relations. That is very important, that you understand the donor, that you communicate well in a timely manner, and give all the information that they need. So I have donors who call me when I'm on the road, and I'll stop their car to respond to them. Cuts of lessons from Dr. Juko.
Fantastic. Relations. I've picked that. How do we keep relations? We are all in this. We are here. I'm a Rotarian. And in Rotary, we talk about building acquaintances. And every person you meet is an opportunity. How do you keep your relationships? Helen has just told us at CD, relationships are important because if they know that the donor is calling, she has the reason to stop and attend to that donor. So, I mean, I'm just throwing a challenge to us. How are we doing as far as that is concerned? What should be the key things, 2 key things I should look out for if I've not read this book yet?
One of the things, if you haven't read that book, one of the milestones that come out of that book is the ability to persist. And I always look at Monsignor, sorry, we are talking about Dr. Juko. When I see Monsignor Andamila, I actually see Dr. Juko, and he must have had a big influence on Dr. Juko. That you should never fail to start and figure out things, you know, along the way. And then the other thing is that you must value people. You know, we have staff in city that have stayed for 20 years. We have staff that have done 10 years. And that is only possible because in city, everyone matters.
But we can clap for that, please. Please, we can clap for that. That's a very good thing. And I will ask you to pass the mic to Lydia. Lydia, I would like, I want you, have you read the book yet?
Yes.
You have, fantastic. You have passed the exam. Okay, now, what should I look out for? What stood out for you in this book that I should really, really make sure that I get? And for those who haven't bought, by the way, the books are available. Our team is around, moving around. You can raise up your hand and get the book. Hardcover, 100,000, soft cover, 50,000. Yes, Lydia.
What really stood out for me in the book are the values of persistence and humility. When you read the book, you will understand that a lot of the difficulties we think we are going through are really not that much of difficulties. When you read the book, you will know what persistence is practically. Because in that book, there are different stories that the book is really generally a series of short stories that depict Dr. Juko in very difficult situations where you would ordinarily give up, but he did not. So when you read that book, you have a very different perspective when it comes to insisting on things and, you know, being determined to achieve your goals and being very clear on goal setting. The other one is humility. Mr. Juko is a very humble man. Very humble man. But when you read the book, it even brings out that humility more. In all his challenges in life, in all the places to which he has had to go, he has really been humble. And that humility has taken him places. And I'm very sure it's one of the reasons as to why we are all seated here today.
Indeed. The Bible says, humble yourself before the Lord and he shall do what? If you read the Bible, he shall do what? He shall lift you up. So you are the reason we're here. We thank you for your humility and allowing us share in your life story. Maybe a quick one from this side. What would be your last words to the people who are going to buy the book and those who look forward to interacting more with Dr. Juko?
My last words to the people going to buy the book is you should expect to explore a lot of themes that Dr. Juko has kept as very pivotal to his life, very important to him: religion, culture, work ethic, and that spirit of being persistent, hardworking, and never giving up generally. That's what I think they can pick from it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Simon.
What I would say about this book, generally, what I understood from this book, or what I picked from this book, is that the biggest battles that we fight are within ourselves. And if we surpass them, we can be able to achieve anything to the limit. That is being persistent. If you stay on something and you don't give up, you are going to succeed.
Thank you so much, Simon. And Tulemereko, I don't know which battles you're fighting within you, but the book, pick it, read it, and learn, and see how to kulemerako, because this world is for kulemerako. Now, lastly, Dr. Tebandeke, you wrote that, is it the forward, whatever it is, right? Uh-huh. And there are certain things I read, and there was something like Dr. Juko is so focused on success. He wanted to break the shackles of poverty, looking at the background, and, and then he said, failing isn't the problem. I picked that statement at some point. Failing is not the problem. I mean, what do you have to say about that as you give us your last remarks?
Thank you very much for those comments. I would say that Dr. Juko is a success story. When you look at what he has achieved in terms of his family, his nuclear family is here, but he also has the extended family seated behind there. He was able to uplift his family, but also his extended family, the sisters, the brothers, the cousins, many of them who are here. What is common to all of us is that many of us are from humble beginnings. And if you read this book and you see where Dr. Juko started, the parents of Dr. Juko, the way they started, it was a kind of makeshift temporary structure as their home. And that's where he started. And he started in very poor primary schools. And he was able to fight from there and join good schools. And he was able to fight from there and go up to the university, even go study abroad, come back and do what he has done. So it's like we cannot limit ourselves because of the limited resources. Because if you look at his background, the resources were limited. The parents were struggling to get food. He as a person was struggling to get school fees. He was in one of the poorest schools in primary school, but he was able to work hard, to struggle, and reach where he is now. He has a good family. He has made investments. He is employing very many people. So basically, when it comes to development, I think everyone, it should be within you to set your own goals, to focus on your goals, to have the discipline to achieve what you have set to achieve, and have the commitment, and of course the persistence to reach where you want to reach. Failure may come in, but you should sit back and then see how you can overcome this. Because I've seen Dr. Juko work with limited resources to actually overcome and deliver targets, sometimes even beyond what the donors expect him to deliver. And because of that, he has been able to maintain donors for so many years. Their donors he came with from the Catholic Secretariat, from Caritas, now to Sydney, and they're still funding him. To have a donor to fund you for over 20 years, to have a donor to fund you for ongoing programs where you have no limit on years, it just tells that actually you are committed to what you're doing and you are delivering results. And if you go to the communities, people are there to tell you what he has done. So along the way, of course, he's meeting these challenges. He's meeting these temporary setbacks, but he's committed and tries to overcome them. So failure shouldn't be an option for all of us, that we all have these humble beginnings, but we can overcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tebandeke. And we are coming to the close of this. I would like to thank all of you who have given us a review of what Dr. Juko is. And for the people in the audience, there are so many lessons, there are so many things that we need to learn and take away with us. Failure shouldn't be the problem. We will fail at some point, but we shouldn't stay down. We should always rise and know that we can overcome. There are so many other things that I think if you were listening that you can go away with. It's an honor. It has been an honor handling this and hearing those nice things about Dr. Juko. I will end with a common saying these days, that Dr. Juko, when I grow up, I would want to be like you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
We are now going to a panel discussion for our author and the wife. And of course, you are not talking about the ruling government and the opposition, but I know that Rachel and Dr. Juko are in sync. Many times when you ask people, they say we eat kawunga, and the other one says we eat matoke. And you wonder whether they're staying in the same home. But to do that, welcome them is our troupe. Please join us to welcome our troop as they usher in the author and the very beautiful wife, Reggie.
Tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Mama tweyanziza sebo,
Dr. Juko and Mrs. Juko, that is to usher you.
Tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Mama tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Mama tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Mama tweyanziza sebo. Nyabo tweyanza abalungi abagalwa. Yaye, nyabo tweyanze dokita webale. Yaye, nyabo twesimye abagenyi abagalwa. Yaye, omuntu abiranga omulungi omwagalwa. Yaye, nyabo tweyanze Juko webale. Yaye, mama engalo abalungi abagalwa. Yaye, oba ndabiranga abagenyi abagalwa. Yaye, nyabo twesimye Sidi webale. Yaye, nyabo tweyanze abalungi abagalwa. Mama, omuntu abiranga akamongo mwenseno. Yaye, nyabo twesimye Juko webale. Yaye, tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Tweyanziza sebo, nyabo twesimye abagenyi abagalwa. Yaye, nyabo tweyanze abalungi mwebale. Yaye, nyabo tweyanze abalungi mwebale. Yaye, nyabo twesimye abagenyi abagalwa. Tweyanziza sebo, tweyanzege. Sebera, sebera, nze, sebera, ebyaffe bimaze okuterera olwaleero. Mama sebera, sebera, nze, sebera, ebyaffe bimaze okuterera olwaleero. Okumanya nga bimaze okuterera ti baana basse emyaka 25 egyo gye tujaguza obuganda buladde. Mama sebera, sebera, nze, sebera, ebyaffe bimaze okuterera olwaleero. Mama sebera, sebera, nze, sebera, ebyaffe bimaze okuterera olwaleero. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumogo naye lumonde siganye wali emmere naye lumonde. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Mama lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Lumonde, lumonde asinga emmere okuwoma. Waggumulusi kyabana kyo kyawa munneewe naffe akatonako ffe munyenze ne bawa bange. Yenda mwogo ezaala abalungi n'ababi omwoyo mulondo gw'oyagala gukulondola. Ezaala abalungi n'ababi omwoyo mulondo gw'oyagala gukulondola. Atembeya mulungi munange, atembeya na butono baba. Atembeya mulungi munange, atembeya na butono baba. Atembeya mulungi munange, atembeya na butono. Kona, kona. Webale, 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 Dr. Juko. Kona, kona. Epic persistence. Kona mama kona, kona mama kona, kona mama kona. Toba munage joka no badogala, toba munage joka no badogala. Atembeya mulungi munage, atembeya na butono. Atembeya mulungi munage, atembeya na butono. Awangale Aisa basajja.
Thank you very much to Jolly team. Our dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, My name is Frank Kabuchenga, and I'm the CEO of a TFK Luminary Publishers, who were privileged to handle Dr. Juko's book. And so I am also here privileged to present to you a discussion between Mr. and Mrs. Dr. Juko. A round of applause for Dr. Juko and Rachel Juko and family for this day. There are not many occasions when you get an opportunity to have an interaction between a husband and a wife. I know there are some settings that arrange for such groupings, but rarely do you find this opportunity. And so we are blessed that we're here with the author of Epic Persistence. And so we also believe, usually here in Uganda and probably in Africa, that if you tell your own story as a man and there is no lady in that story, there is something missing. Now, today we have Rachel joining us to say something about Dr. Juko. But to start with, I will allow them say a welcome remark, each of them. I think with the guidance of Dr. Juko, where should the mic go first? To the wife. Rachel, please, Dr. Juko says, just give a welcome remark at this great moment when we launch Epic Persistence, but also celebrate the 25 years of CD.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll start by introducing myself. Namirembe Rachel Juko. I have to repeat it, the wife to Dr. Juko, the author. I work with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and I'm a human resource practitioner. We're really privileged to have you here, the clergy, the political leaders, the CD team. You've really done us great. We have a choir from Bunga Gaba, and I can't really mention you in all your capacities, but we have seen you, and we really do appreciate the love you've shown. I can't also forget to thank my family. I have a big family. I'm not going to say who is who, but family, thank you very much. I have another family of the Rotarians. I can see them smiling. I did not mention the names. Thank you for being here, and thank you for loving us. I also want to thank Dr. Juko for this achievement of writing a book. At times, there are things which I want to remember, like when I was growing up, what my father told me, and I'm like, oh, I'll ask my sister to tell me what we did on day X. I've realized he has done a very important thing we can say, to the nation, to the world, but most of all, to his children and the grandchildren, because they'll have a first-hand information about our life and his life. Thank you very much. I think I was just supposed to do what?
You have done it so well. you have excelled.
Thank you.
Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ordinarily this should have been an opening speech by the author, but we decided to do it differently. So Dr. Juko, now you have the opportunity to welcome your guests at the launch of your book. Please.
Moderator, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm overwhelmed, first of all, by the fact that we have great numbers here. Like if you make a party or an invitation and you get no turnout, that would be the beginning of the failure of that function. So I'm grateful to all of you that you took time off your busy schedules and decided to come to attend our 25-year celebrations and also to attend the launch of our book. In a special way, I wish to appreciate and acknowledge the presence of the representative of the Archbishop of Kampala. Right Reverend Paul Semwogerere, he sent Monsignor Kalumba to represent him because he's traveling abroad. I wish to acknowledge the presence of the founding members of CD. We are very lucky that some of them are still alive. Can I kindly request those founding members of CD who are here, who have come to attend this function, please to stand up for recognition. Mr. William Mubiru is here. Mrs. Ellen Semakula is there. Those are the people who ventured into starting this organization when we were hoping against hopes, and nothing would seem like work at that time. Of course, Mrs. Rachel Juko is among the founding members. I think she thought I would forget. She's among them. We are saddened by the loss of some of our founding members. Mrs. Anna Mabira, we prayed for her. And also, most recently, Monsignor Father Charles Kato, whom we lost. Mr. Francis Lubowa has not been able to come because the Katikiro of Buganda is visiting Makindye, and he's a Gombola chief of Makindye. So he's not able to come here. But Father Charles Kato has a representative. I don't know if the representative came. No, he's not here. He's not here. Then besides the founding members, I wish to acknowledge the presence of the CD board, which is taking us to other horizons. May you kindly stand up also for recognition. That is a team of formidable men and women. Maybe, I don't know if there will be an opportune time to introduce them more, or this is the last time when I'm introducing them. I would say a few words about them, but I don't know if I have that time now. I wish also to acknowledge the presence of my lineage. The head of the lineage is hereby represented by Musese, Omutaka Musese, and Omutaka Javira. Amwe Mulangira. So Rachel is a Muzana. Amwe Mulangira, and we hail from Sekabaka Chwanabaka. Chwanabaka was son of Sekabaka Kabaka Chintu, because we believe he's still alive. Kabaka Chintu. Chwanabaka, who gave birth to Mulangira Kalemera, who gave birth to twins, Chimera and Chibika Ganda. Chimera is where the Sabasaja Kabaka of Uganda comes from. Chibika Ganda is where I come from. Members, in your respective capacities, I will not finish you all. All of the SMACs are here, the Rotarians are here, the people of CD are here, our donor partners are here, all the priests are here, and several other people are here. I am so grateful that you have honored our invitation. Thank you so much for coming. The CD team is coming from far. Some came from Soroti, some came from Nakapiripirit, others came from Bulisa, others came from Bidibidibidi, borders with Sudan, and others in Changwali, borders with the Zaire. They are all here for this function. So thank you all for coming. You are all most welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. That is, that's yours. Yes, dear ladies and gentlemen, that's now a befitting welcome from our author and the wife. So thank you very much. And so, dear guests, we are going to pick out a few insights from this book. And that's why we have Doctor here to just get it from the horse's mouth, what you need to look out for out of this book. And then, of course, Rachel completes it. Now, Doctor, when a life is starting, it doesn't simply fall from the sky or out of the blue. There is always what we refer to as the foundations, the beginning. And in the book, we called it the Genesis. And when we got to that topic, you were very quick to talk about your mother. You said, Frank, you need to look for my mother. Please, just share a few insights that we need to continue to uphold in regards to how important our mothers are in our lives and especially in our future lives. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that. I must say that when I was growing up as a kid, I was very close to my mother, right from the word go. And to me, besides seeing what she was doing as I was growing up, she was a teacher, she was a mentor. She loved me. She also loved the other sisters and brothers who are here. Later on you will see them. But all my life was a first-hand experience of her. She was a very hard-working person. She was a very open-handed person. She loved to share whatever little she had. Even in our poverty, nobody would come in our home and get away without food. And sometimes we wonder, the food which is there is not enough. But mother is giving out somebody who is a passerby, sometimes even just calling him. Oh, go and tell it kumere. Okay? This was her. She loved education. She needed to educate her kids very much. She didn't go very far in education. She was just a nursing assistant in Masaka Mulago Hospital. But she loved her children to study. But the resources were limited. So you can imagine in a rural village, down in Chisojo, where I was born, some people know Bukomansimbi. There are some villages surrounding that area. There is Chisojo, there is Chisabwa, there is Chijampichi. That's where we grew up. So doing all kind of odd jobs. And because I was the eldest, I would join in always to do those odd jobs. Fetching water, looking for Mabide for making this local brew, so as to create an income, seeing the shortages of domestic materials that we needed, medication, leave alone these simple things. Omunyu gwaweddewo, sukali yaweddewo, so that kind of thing. And she told me, later on when I came to understand, that we grew actually up in very extreme poverty. They went to start what we call in Luganda Omutala. Omutala means that you go and clear a place and you establish a house and you begin to farm from zero. And that's what they did. Because they didn't have resources, they were first supported by their uncle who was living about 5 kilometers away from where the land they acquired was. But they walked every day to go and farm and come back and going back and like that. Until when they decided, let us just make a makeshift shelter and be on the ground. So that the time we spend walking, we can use it to till more land. And that's what they did. So, in Luganda, they call it Chikabugo. Those of you who know Luganda. It's just a shack house. And they would close the shack house with what? With mukulule. Mukulule means just a simple door that is made out of reeds. Then you make it, and then you can slide it across to close. That means there was only one entrance and one exit. Thank God that time there was no a lot of thieves. People used to live in neighborliness, and maybe they had pity at these young people. Because at that time, my mother was about 22, my father was 18. My mother was slightly older than my father. So I grew up in that kind of environment. And when I was born to that situation of poverty. My mother told me that the biggest challenges I had in childhood was malaria, because it was all surrounded with bush. And the malaria, you know, the nearest hospital was 20 kilometers away, Masaka. So she would either walk to take me to hospital or ask people with bicycles to borrow and take me on the bicycle to the hospital. So those are the circumstances under which I was born. And so I developed a lot of attachment. I developed a lot of knowledge about suffering. And later on, when I went to start school, I was determined that I think when I grow up, I should not be in this situation. But I could not tell her at that time because I could see what she was going through. I could not do much for her at that time, and also my siblings.
Great. Might be a few words about your father.
Yes, equally my father, of course my mother was in the same situation as my father, but also usually men find a way of trying to look for other kind of jobs elsewhere in the name of trying to get extra income to support the family. So I would say my father found odd jobs near Masaka. He was working with some Asians to be able to earn some income and maybe support the home. Yes, he did. And sometimes he would supplement. Our home would get milk, I would say, and I really pay tribute to him for that, because usually whenever he would come back, he would bring a pint of milk. Those days there were pints of milk. He would bring a pint of milk, and also whenever money was sufficient, he would buy some meat for us, especially on Christmas, and also sometimes on Easter. Yes, but the one who was in the core that we worked with most of the time, tilling the land, looking for the coffee, doing this and that, was us and the mother at home.
Great. Thank you, Doctor. And that is an interesting insight into your formative life. Yes. And we believe that when God brings two together, it's never a mistake. And it does not start by either a Senga, the way the skit was showing us here, but God has this plan right from the beginning. Now, in the same spirit, we want to find out, Rachel, while Doctor was digging with the mom in the gardens, what were you doing? How was it on your side? Growing up.
I was not prepared for this question. You know, when you're going for an exam and you're cramming, I knew I was going to talk about the book and Dr. Juko, but it's okay. When Dr. Juko was in the gardens, okay, I grew up in the current Wakiso district. By then it was in PG district. It was in a village called Wamala village. It is in Naweru sub-county. It was not very far from the capital city. Now it seems far because of so many people have come in. And yeah, my father was a personnel officer. By the time he retired, he was a senior personnel officer in the now Kampala City Council. So I grew up in a family of about 9 children. And yeah, I think, it was a simple family. Yes, it was a very simple family, and it was very religious. And by the way, my father's hair is here. He's Professor Senfuma. I just request him to stand up and wave. So basically, that is Rachel. Yes, my 2 parents were both married until when they passed on. May their soul rest in peace. and I think I enjoyed my childhood. My father was a civil servant, but a farmer. Me, I grew up taking milk up to P7. So let me stop there. There'll be another discussion. I'm going to write my book. So, Mr. Kamshenga, you are not fair to start asking me about my book before I put it in print. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rachel. Now, you see, there's got to be a balance on either side. Now, that balances out the story. And God is very smart. You will not suffer, and then he brings you again another person who will bring another suffering. There's a way he does it. So, while you were digging and taking probably black tea, someone had to be ready to be able to show you how to make the best English tea or something. Now, Rachel, I think let's go ahead and feel free to say something about Juko, the husband that you know. We've heard so much about him being, you know, the go-getter, the persistent, but now the husband. Just tell us.
The husband, I know, you know, in all this talk, I think the word persistence, in fact, at times, these days I'm tempted to say Mr. Persistence, because the word persistence is in everything. From loving, from caring for the children, you know, Dr. Juko is someone who never gives up on anything. Even when things seem to be like they are not going to work out, he always persists and gets a solution. And at times, he works in unexpected ways because he's never there to really come and tell you, oh, everything is going to be okay, I'm doing this, but you just see someone really serious about something. So the Dr. Juko here is a very loving person. He has time for his children. They were here, they talked about it. And he also has time for me. Although there's a lot of competition, even up to now. At times I'm like, now I'm tired of these outings to the hotel in Masaka. I want to go to another place. But at times our outings are to the Garden Court Hotel, then back to Kampala. But really, he has really persisted to make sure he has a balanced life. But as I said in the book, really, he has commitment on whatever he determines to put his hands on. And to me, in this book, the book helped me personally to have a reflection on the person I'm married to. You know, in life, things pass and we never even notice that they are passing. At times, even you may not remember what happened 10 years. But when I look at Dr. Juko, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a social worker, he's a hotelier. So at times, you're dealing with very many people, but in one person. And at the end of the day, he manages to pull it off. Really, that is really amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Juko, we already know now your bit of life, but now we want to cross to school. And from the story and the way we went through the story, school did not come easy for you. Starting from the point where you felt someone needed to cut off their fingers and lend them to you. Please, if you can start from there, as regards to your education, and just give us a few insights. Because from right there, we now have a doctor.
Yeah, first of all, before I go to that, let me tell you this funny story. My mother is really a dynamic woman because I take her to be a teacher, a professor, and everything. She's a negotiator. That school I talked about, Chamabale, was a poor school. But right next was another school which was slightly better, and it was a girls' school. So she went and negotiated with the girls' school and made me go as a boy to study in a girls' school. Can you imagine? The girls' school had 500 girls. And I entered that school alone as a boy. Because she thought that that school had better standards. And indeed it had. And it worked. So that is how I started my education. Small. Then, later on, as I grew, I was shifted to some other schools. But during my formative years, that story you talked about, I think mathematics was not so good for me. And I was counting numbers. And so when I counted numbers, because we use fingers to count numbers, so the fingers got finished because I counted up to 10. Then I asked my neighbor who was just next. He was called Saint Peter. Says, Eugene, can you help me with your fingers? So that I can complete. I can complete my number because it was going beyond 10. But St. Peter was also busy counting, and they said, but don't you have feet? And that time, of course, we didn't have shoes. I said, this guy is brilliant. So I went 10, 11, 12, 13. So at the end of the day, I added my numbers, okay? But still at the school, I was outgoing, I was a playful boy. Some people called me a naughty boy, but not in a bad way, but I wanted to joke a lot with the students. Up till now, many students I meet, they remember me. But sometimes me, I don't even remember them. But remember me because I was fond of calling people names. There was a boy who had this thing which it's called a sekeloid, or in Uganda it's called Nkufu. So he had Nkufu. So we nicknamed him Nkufu. And whenever we would call him Nkufu, then he would chase you around the whole school. So whenever I needed some kind of refreshment, I go near him and tell him Nkufu. And then he chases you around. So I had fun, and I think I enjoyed those kind of funs. There are others we nicknamed the names. There's one boy, I don't know if it was just abuse, but the boy, his upper lips would not close properly. So his upper teeth would always be open. Then we nicknamed him Wenu. Wenu. The Baganda know what Wenu means. Wenu means omuntu asinisa amanyu kugamba tiga close inze. And that's an abuse, by the way. But it was fun in school, and it was giving fun to other people. So that's how we made fun and finished my primary school. However, when I was finishing primary, I did not pass very well because the school was so bad. Nkoni Primary. But because of a dream which I had, that I must go to a school that exposes me to my aspirations of breaking these shackles which I see at home. I must repeat P7 much as I've qualified to go for a second grade school somewhere in another school. So I said I wanted to go to St. Mary's. That was my determination from the word go. So I told my mother, but she said, you have passed. Why don't you go to the school they have given you? I said, no, Mommy, I want to go to Nkoni Primary School. It was called Nkoni Primary School that time. Some of you know it. It was the best primary school at that time that would give boarding education to children. And they were passing in high numbers. So my parents accepted, and I went to Nkoni Primary School, which was headed by one of the renowned headmaster called Mr. Katerega, the first man that I saw, a teacher, driving a Benz automatic. I had never seen any other primary teacher driving a Benz automatic. That's where I finished my secondary school, in flying colors.
Right. Thank you, Doctor. A round of applause for this insight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'd mentioned that we are rushing through this story. Now, Dr. Jacob, before I get Rachel to give her final remarks. What is it that you saw in Rachel? That time when you bypassed her on your way to do other things the way we saw in the skit. What was it that was running? What went with you in the mind when she passed away and you also went your opposite way? Please.
Yeah, meeting Rachel was, may I say, it was God's providence. It was an accident, but also at the same time, I think accident brought about by God's providence. Because I lived in Old Kampala as a bachelor, of course. I'd started my work with the Uganda Catholic Secretariat. My former boss is here, the director of Caritas Uganda. Kindly, please, can you stand up for recognition? So I had started my work there. And one evening, I love music. So I had a radio which was disturbing me, and I wanted to take it for repair, and I was taking it for repair. So as I sloped Namirembe Road, those of you who know Namirembe Road, going to Blue Room to repair my radio, I saw two very elegant ladies. And they were dressed in Gomez. And they were younger girls. It is very rare at that time that young girls would dress in Gomez and walk together, unless if they are going for a function. They struck my eyes and my mind, of course. And so I turned. I was on the other side of the road, they were this side, and I turned to look at them. And then in my mind I said, wherever these girls are going, that person is lucky. So I continued my journey. Of course, I didn't know them. I just continued my journey to repair my radio. And I repaired my radio. After repairing my radio, I went back home to take my radio back. But as I was entering the home, my maid came and said, "You have visitors in the home." I said, "What? You have some visitors?" He said, "Who are they?" "There are some two ladies who are in the house." I said, "I didn't mind. Which two ladies? I don't know." Then I was entering from behind. So I entered. Then on whom do I see? I see two elegant ladies, the ones I was admiring, seated in my house. It was not in very good condition, because that time I had just taken some chickens away from the house, because I was rearing chickens in my house. In all of the rooms, I was rearing chicken and living in only one house, in one room. So the house was not so elegant. elegant. Then I looked at them, and that's how the story started.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can see you want more. But we have a book. So I'll ask the TFK team, please pass the book around. And now, at this moment, I'll ask Rachel to give her last remark about Dr. Jiko and the whole story, the whole issue about this book.
Thank you. Members, you buy the book so that you understand everything about the elegant ladies and how it ended. You get it? But anyway, how it ended is evident here. Yeah. So, in as far as writing this book, Epic Persistence, and relating it to the 31 years of our marriage, I was looking at this book and I was like, but this man is so open, so sincere. And also what amazed me is his memory and the ability to do some self-reflection. Because all the passages I was reading, I was just laughing. From the day when he was very young and he went to the dentist to remove his teeth without anesthesia, I was like,
Use a
but
hammer.
how did, they used the hammer and he collapsed a bit. I was like, I couldn't believe that he had the time and the energy to put together such an epic book. To be sincere, that book is amazing. And maybe to talk about Fulgencio as a person, he's a very loving person. He's caring, very intelligent, and emotionally intelligent also, by the way. By the way, at times, let me share with you, marriages without emotional intelligence, you can't survive. But he's very intelligent and emotionally intelligent. And I think that's why he has managed to do the marriage bit, the CD bit, and all the other things. But above all, I can't stop this talk without saying, for us, and specifically for me, I believe in God. All this what has happened, like he said that our meeting was a result of God. Whatever has happened is because God is in our midst. Members, all the things we are saying here, very many people are doing them, but they don't have what we have. Some are better, some are worse. You get it? So I believe it is God who is really holding our hands. And we have to continue praying, thanking, and being grateful for all what he has given for this marriage of 30 years. Because as in any relationship, we can't say that it has been like Muswetwe. They are the whatever, like that. But I think, and I believe God has been with us, and we continue to entrust with him. In fact, that's why we decided to start with a mass, and we are going to continue praising him. Today is a day for jubilation. I really thank my husband for putting together such a book, which is going to be part of our family history. Thank you very much.
A round of applause to Rachel. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still doubting whether God gives wives or husbands, we have a testimony today. And so if you are waiting for one, please, they will come. Now, doctor, let's wrap this up. You took your time to write this story, and they have it all. Now, probably you can conclude with touching your crossover from the Catholic Secretariat. You start CD, and because those guys have given you a story to tell. Just a little bit of that persistence that you took to make your contribution at the Catholic Secretariat, and then yet had another move, made a U-turn to start CD, and have brought it this far. In your final remarks, in appreciation, because that part of your life makes a big story in this book. Just a little bit, in about 3 minutes, and we go to another program. Thank you.
Yes, like I said all along, that I wanted to get the opportunity to work in a situation that puts me to work with the communities. I have not told you that when I went to Makerere University, I was first offered the course of human medicine. But when I imagined myself sitting in the, maybe in an office to see patients, that would not be putting me to do the kind of things I wanted to intervene in that I saw my mother in the fields doing, and also to be active in the fields. I went and asked Professor Kayanja to go and join his faculty, which he accepted. From there, I joined briefly as a teaching assistant, because like the wife says, by the way, she's also brilliant, this lady. Very much so. She's very brilliant, she's very loving, she's very careful in life, and I have not, They say all what glitters is not gold, but I think all that glitters in her is actually gold. Because we have been able to go through situations and have not seen a very big hitch that has come between our marriage. And that's how we have been able to bring out these eloquent children you have seen. I don't know if you were told that these were our children. The lawyer, the architect, the finance person, and also others who have gotten into that. It's because of her. And she gives me the energy and the breathing. And also the breathing space to do what, there is a breathing in there, but also the breathing space to do what I want to do. So I worked at the university for only 9 months as a teaching assistant. Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot say it all. Please, a round of applause for the presentation that we've had from Dr. Juko and wife. And for any more insights and the full story, please buy the book. Buy the book, and may the Lord bless you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Rachel.
Now, we have a cake specially planned for this finalizing of this discussion.
Okay, we are going to invite the children to come. Doctor and Rachel, please come forward. The children, please come and join. Dr. Tebandeke, please come and join. And can I request the EPIC team to come and help this? Dr. Tebandeke, children. Okay, the available family, Monsignor Kalumba, please come and join us. We request for your pleasure to come. Monsignor Damira, please also come kindly and join us. And then the members of the founding body, come and join. We wanted to give you as much space so that you can be seen as you gather around. Please come closer. We are going to please pick the knife. I'm going to give you multiples of 5. When I reach 25, we will cut. So, Doctor, please pick the knife. Monsignor. Or the chairman of the board. You are part of the family. Please come forward. The chairman of the board, when we call the members of the family, you are compulsory here. I don't see the finance man, but the finance man of Garden Courts, when I'm in Masaka this week, I hope I get complimentary accommodation. But you are not here. Where are you, the finance man? Chairperson of the board, please join. Let us lift the knife. The others can symbolically show the hand towards the knife. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Thank you very much. I request the EPIC team to please put the cake on the side and cut it, and you serve as we go on to the next assignment. Thank you very much. Please give us that interlude to Jali, and as we conclude on this.